Is NBA action. This week, playoff excitement's better than ever, and we'll bring you all the amazing action, including Michael Jordan and the Bulls' continued quest for their 5th NBA title. We'll also profile the winner of this year's Six-Man Award, Knicks guard John Starks. And of course, we'll bring you the top 10 plays of the week in our courtside countdown.
Oh my goodness!
All right, here we go. Look out! Oh my goodness! Shazam! Spit off! Oh, baby! What a pull! Monkey! Oh, you gotta love it! Monkey with a vicious block. And Hill with the explosion! In your face, hat. Look out! Look out! That's up there. Oh, man! Wrong and Tate. Here it is! There you go. Oh, you gotta love that!
We tip off our show by taking you into the action in the Western Conference, beginning with the Seattle-Phoenix series. The Sonics faced elimination in Game 4, but Gary Payton gave them a comfortable fourth-quarter lead.
Payton slices in.
However, the explosive Suns would score 19 points in the final 2 minutes. Led by Rex Chapman, Phoenix staged an incredible comeback and sent the game into overtime with this amazing last-second shot.
Chapman, long shot up. Oh! 1.9 left in regulation.
In the extra period, the defending Western Conference champions got tough as they forced a final contest back in Seattle.
And Hersey Hawkins is driving a stake in the Suns' heart.
This is a hard one to lose. We felt like it was kind of gift wrap for us there, and we let it get away. We just got to do it the hard way, go to Seattle and get one.
In the decisive Game 5, the Sonics were determined to end the Suns' dreams of a first-round upset as they jumped to a 22-point halftime lead behind Shawn Kemp and Detlef Schrempf.
Oh, he's filling it. Detlef Schrempf.
Once again, Phoenix would attempt to come back, but Seattle overpowered the smaller Suns as they advanced to the conference semifinals. The Sonics moved on to the second round of the playoffs. Their opponent, the Houston Rockets. The Rockets came out determined to avenge last year's playoff loss to the Sonics. And early on, it was Mario Elie 5 3-pointers that gave Houston a 20-point lead.
Back outside, over to Mario. He'll launch another three.
Oh, shoot that ball, Mario!
Seattle tried to come back, but it wasn't enough as the Rockets shot their way to an impressive 12-point win, taking a 1-0 series lead.
This is going to be a tough series, and it's great to get off to a good start. Basically, we were able to hold serve, and we're looking forward to Game 2.
Next, we go to the first round of the Blazers-Lakers matchup. LA held a 2-0 lead. Blazer fans were pumped and ready for Game 3. Their team needed a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And Kenny Anderson took matters into his own hands with 30 points.
What a sweet move by Kenny Anderson!
He did a really good job of being aggressive, getting the ball to the basket. He knocked down some big three-pointers and really did a good job at moving the ball around.
They kicked us, and we have to come back and respond to that.
Now, on to Game 4. There would be no early blowout this time, as both teams were making spectacular plays. The Blazers held a 6-point lead after 3 quarters, but the Lakers bench helped pull out the win for LA.
It's all over. The Los Angeles Lakers win the series 3-1.
Tonight, I think it was more of a team effort, We didn't just go to Shaq every time, Fellas helped him out, on the rebounds, offensively, defensively, and it was a great team win tonight.
Next for the Lakers in the second round, the #1 seed in the West, the Utah Jazz.
We want to get this win and try to steal one from out of this building, and we're going to come out and we're going to play as hard as we can just to get it.
But LA ran into a couple of big obstacles, namely Jazz center Greg Ostertag, along with a hot Utah bench led by Chris Morris.
Chris Morris off the bench. Oh, yeah! Oh, no! I mean, what? The one is over, and game one goes to the top seed in the West, the Utah Jazz.
It's just one game down, but we know we're going to have a war on Tuesday, so hopefully we'll be ready.
And the visiting Lakers came out strong at the start of Game 2 as they looked to even the series. And no one was more determined than Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille is playing like a man possessed.
Despite 7 threes in the game by Robert Horry, Utah's veteran stars rose to the challenge. The game came down to the final buzzer, and Malone came through on the defensive end. Here's the Western Conference playoff picture. The Jazz now lead the Lakers 2-0. The series resumes in L.A. for Games 3 and 4. In the other semifinal, the Rockets hold a 1-0 edge over the Sonics. Seattle hopes to even the series before heading back home. Coming up next, our playoff coverage continues with the Chicago Bulls and the rest of the East.
Jordan gets around Howard, look out.
Welcome to Spalding Ball Handling Performance of the Week, featuring Orlando Magic point guard Darryl Armstrong.
Darryl. Oh, man. He's got it going tonight, folks. Boy. He looks like Magic Johnson out there.
Now we go back into the action in the Eastern Conference for the conclusion of the Bulls Bullet Series. Game 3, the Bullets were looking to avoid elimination, and they got off to a flying start.
Now Tracy Murray slices.
Despite Washington's great play, Chicago managed to take a 1-point lead late in the game on this spectacular Scottie Pippen slam. The Bullets had one last chance, but Chicago would hold on to their 1-point lead and sweep the series.
When we win the championship, we're certainly going to look back at this situation and say, hey, this is a motivation, a series for us to get us to open our eyes and get the hunger that, they came in with.
Now we take a look at the final 2 games of the Atlanta-Detroit series. Leading 2-1, Grant Hill's Pistons were looking to end the series in Detroit. But the Hawks' trademark defense took control of the game.
Now this is Atlanta Hawk basketball, the transition game.
All game long, the Hawks' defensive intensity led to easy baskets and a 12-point win.
Hawkins picked by Steve Smith. The step back 3 is through.
We played to win, and we pushed the tempo a little bit more. We were much more aggressive defensively, and everybody, we just came out and we really wanted to get the game.
The stage was set for the decisive Game 5 in Atlanta, Georgia. And behind their superstar Grant Hill, the Pistons took an 8-point lead going into the 4th quarter. The Hawks rallied back as Christian Laettner gave Atlanta the lead.
Laettner got to put it up and hit. 23 points from Laettner.
In the final minute, Defensive Player of the Year Dikembe Mutombo wouldn't let the Pistons tie the game. And then it was Steve Smith's turn to be the hero.
Smith, long shot out of the corner. The best of 5 series goes to the Hawks.
The Hawks moved on to face the Chicago Bulls in the 2nd round. In Game 1, the Hawks came out shooting and scoring. Atlanta would build an 11-point halftime lead and showed they were not intimidated by the defending champs.
Corbin driving the baseline nicely, and he lays it in.
But at the start of the 2nd half, a more aggressive Chicago Bull team took it to the basket every chance they got.
Look out, 3-on-1. Pippen to Jordan. Oh, yes.
And Chicago would survive Game 1.
We did what it takes to win. We're a championship ball club, and we know what to do in certain situations of the game.
We finish up the East in Florida, where the Magic and Heat met in Games 4 and 5. The Heat came into Game 4 with a 2-1 series lead. But in Game 3, Penny Hardaway had been unstoppable, and now he wanted to make it 2 in a row.
Here's Penny Hardaway. Takes the jumper.
Riley and the Heat had no answer for Penny, who scored 41 points in leading the Magic to victory, tying the series at 2 games apiece.
Hardaway with a jumper. Well, it doesn't matter.
Wow. Folks, you're watching Picasso go to work.
Game 5 was back in Miami, where it was the other Hardaway's turn to be the hero. Although Penny stayed red hot and single-handedly kept the Magic in the game, the home team would prevail, thanks to Tim, who hit some key baskets late in the contest.
Ball away by Tim Hardaway. Impossible shot.
And in the closing seconds, he shot the Heat into the second round.
Hardaway for three. Clutch basket by Hardaway.
It was just a great series, and I feel very grateful that we can move on and get on to the next round.
In that next round, the Heat will host the New York Knicks, who haven't played in over a week after sweeping Charlotte. Meanwhile, the Bulls hold a 1-game-to-none lead over the Hawks in their Eastern semifinal matchup. Coming up next, we'll log on to NBA.com for some more postseason awards. Then, we'll take you on another memorable trip to the highlight zone for more exciting action.
Now a floating one-hander. Oh, was that tough?
Hi, I'm Rick Beck.
NBA action. Now it's time to log on to NBA.com for some news on this year's award winners. Grant Hill of the Detroit Pistons won the NBA's IBM Award. The award's based on a statistical formula that evaluates a player's overall contributions to his team.
I take pride in being a versatile player, and to get this award is tremendous.
Another award winner, Philadelphia's Allen Iverson, who was named the NBA Schick Rookie of the Year.
Be the Schick Rookie of the Year. It's just like a dream come true. You know, it's something I always dreamed about being.
Iverson heads up this year's all-rookie team. Also making this year's squad is Toronto's Marcus Camby, who had a spectacular second half of the season. Joining Camby is Vancouver's Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who ranks second in scoring among rookies. The Timberwolves' Stephon Marbury, who led all rookies in assists, also helped Minnesota make the playoffs. Finally, the Celtics' Antoine Walker, who led all first-year players in rebounding. Meanwhile, Miami forward Isaac Austin was named the NBA's most improved player. Austin played an important role for the Heat.
I've worked hard, to get myself to this level. It completed my year for me.
Now let's take a look at this year's all-defensive team. Utah's Karl Malone makes his first appearance on the squad.
Seattle stolen by Malone.
Making the all-defensive team for a record 8th time is his airness, Michael Jordan. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Seattle's Gary the Glove Payton, made the team for the 4th time and was 3rd in the league in steals. There's also Scottie Pippen of the Bulls, who's considered the league's most versatile defender. And finally, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year, the Hawks' Dikembe Mutombo. Now for some coaching news. After 4 years with Indiana, Larry Brown resigned. This year, the Pacers failed to make the playoffs for the first time in his tenure.
I'm leaving because I think it's time to move on. This year was really disappointing.
6 days later, Brown was hired by the 76ers, a team that is trying to get back to the championship level.
This is a franchise with great tradition, which is probably the most important thing to me.
M.L. Carr resigned as head coach of the Boston Celtics, but he'll remain in the front office.
The reason that I'm stepping down as head coach of the Boston Celtics right now, because if I went beyond this, I'd be standing in the way.
Time now for our weekly WNBA update. The WNBA is made up of 8 teams. They're the Charlotte Sting, Los Angeles Sparks, New York Liberty, Sacramento Monarchs, Cleveland Rockers, Utah Stars, Houston Comets, and Phoenix Mercury. The league begins play on June 21st. Each team will play 28 games in the regular season. The WNBA is divided into 2 conferences, the Eastern and Western. The teams with the best record in each conference automatically qualify for the playoffs. 2 other teams with the next best record also advance to the postseason. These semifinal matchups will be held on August 28th. The winners of these 2 games will meet in the WNBA championship game on August the 30th. Now it's time for our viewer email. This week's question comes to us from Marvin Baltasar of Legazpi in the Philippines, who asks, how many triple-doubles did Grant Hill record this season? 13 times this year, the Pistons superstar had double figures in points, rebounds, and assists. In only his 3rd NBA season, Hill has 24 career triple-doubles.
a triple-double for Grant. Write it down, Mrs. Brown. It's in the books.
Now, we take you to another basketball dimension where you can see some of the best plays of the week in the highlight zone. First up in the zone, we'll throw a pretty pass your way and show you that in the playoffs, teamwork is the key.
Hill down the lane. Dishes for York.
But sometimes passing's not the best option, and that's when you take it to the basket yourself. Just like the Hawks' Darren Hancock did on this slam dunk.
Hancock, a serious slam there.
And let's not forget about defense, because in the postseason, it helps to have quick hands. And it doesn't hurt to have a big, tall guy on your team either.
Humble with the rejection.
Now it looks like the Kevin Mutombo's in the mood for some dancing. And he's not the only one, because everyone gets a little jumpy when they're in the highlight zone. So why don't you show us your best moves and slide on down? Did you hear the latest news about the highlight zone? Well, don't ask Shaq, because he might want to sit down and talk about it. Hey, what is that stuff? And why's this guy back? And how did this ball go in?
Impossible shot.
Unbelievable.
And just when you thought you could escape from the highlight zone, we come back at you with some more great plays. Like this one from the LA Lakers' Shaquille O'Neal.
Nice pass from Shaquille O'Neal.
Now you know that Kenny Anderson can always find the open man. But isn't it strange that the Miami Heat can't find a way to stop Penny Hardaway? Yeah, you can find it all here in the highlight zone.
Ashburn cut off. Hardaway the block.
Playoff flashback. The New York Knicks' John Starks recalls one of the best plays of his career.
Oh, it's nothing like the playoffs.
Starks poke it away.
That part of the season is do or die, and guys know that.
It happened in Game 2 of the 1993 Eastern Conference Finals.
Starks. Yes.
I just took off.
What a move by Starks, who was able to sky to the basket.
I knew if I go up weak that they were going to block the shot, so I put everything into that jump. And, you know, I was kind of surprised myself that I went up so high after I seen it on film. And, you know, there was nothing like it, you know, to dunk it in that particular moment.
And now, the 1997 NBA Sixth Man of the Year is holding court.
Here's the best sixth man in the NBA.
Meet John Starks of the New York Knicks. He's emotional, he's energetic, and he's talented. So it came as no surprise when John Starks was named Sixth Man of the Year.
It's a great honor, I think, to win the Sixth Man Award. What was best for this team is for me to come off the bench this year and provide that needed energy.
Starks, falls on the floor, skids, got it, pops up, plants a three. What a play by John Starks.
John's all-out approach to the game and tireless work ethic are the keys to his success.
He's a great worker, he plays to win, and he does it every night. I think our players have a high respect level for him because of the effort he expends to win.
Starks, he'll have to fire it, he does, got it off the top, he hit it, it's over, the Knicks have won in dramatic fashion.
John's burning desire to succeed is rooted in his past. After playing briefly with the Golden State Warriors and then in the Continental Basketball Association, Starks worked his way onto the Knicks and remarkably developed into an all-star under former coach Pat Riley.
Well, he had nothing to sell. He was in the CBA, and he got a chance to come up, and he worked, and he's a very talented player.
The Starks success story was a big reason why the Knicks made it to the finals in 1994. And while they came up just short of an NBA title, it was an experience that John uses as motivation.
Our Houston Rockets are NBA champions.
We've been there so close for so many years, and to get to that point, to win a championship, it's nothing like it.
Starks reverse. What a shot. John Starks buries it from midcourt.
Yes, Starks plays every playoff game like it's his last, and he's become a primetime postseason performer.
What a shot by John Starks.
And now, as the New York Knicks face Pat Riley's Miami Heat, the latest obstacle in their championship quest, John Starks will have to elevate his game to yet another level.
We need it. We need for John to be John in order for us to win.
Starks for three, buries it again. Holy cow! And the Knicks, a very spirited group at the moment.
Everybody's playing for that trophy, and knowing that we can get there and win it all, I think we have all the components this year to do it.
Welcome to sunny California. Man, if it wasn't raining, I'll be busting y'all.
10, 9, 8.
Now it's time for the top 10 plays of the week in our courtside countdown. Starting things off at number 10, it's Grant Hill.
Grant Hill drives to the rim. Look at that. He threw it down.
Grant Hill all the way to the hoop, just leave Ty Corbin flat-footed, throws one down.
At number 9 is this move by Penny Hardaway.
Oh, boy.
I hope Riley does not scream at anybody about that, because there was nothing anyone could do to stop that shot right there.
At number 8, it's Arvydas Sabonis.
Behind the back to Robinson. Did you see that? From the Lithuanian Lion.
Number 7 is Shaquille with some raw power.
Shot again. Shot with a resounding slammer.
He's so big, strong, powerful, and quick.
At number 6, it's Stacey Augmon putting a little twist on this shot.
Deep in the lane, gets his own. That's tough. That is tough. The Plastic Man reincarnated.
At number 5, it's Atlanta's Steve Smith with this shot in the clutch.
Smith, long shot out of the corner. A little Motor City madness from Smitty from the city.
At number 4, it's Seattle's Shawn Kemp.
Picked up and in by Shawn Kemp. He went right over Olajuwon. Look at Shawn Kemp play. The Rain Man.
At number 3, Washington sharpshooter Tracy Murray.
Tracy Murray, he's had the hand, gets Kukoc up, forces a shot. Tracy Murray.
Tracy Murray is on fire.
At number 2, it's this put back by the Lakers' Robert Horry.
The kid's got hands. Oh, man. If I'm in an egg tossing contest, I want him on the other side catching it.
And the number 1 play of the week is this buzzer beater by Rex Chapman.
Chapman, long shot up. Oh, baby! We are tied. Unbelievable!
See you next week.